Now, back to Glenn Beck's difficulty convincing the CAPTCHA that he's not a robot. Because I think the question is, are the street lights the lights themselves, or does a little bit of the frame or the wire that hangs it count? And if you click on it, will it think you're a human being picky or a robot covering its ass? That's always the question. Crosswalks. Is the little corner white paint part of the crosswalk, or is the heart of the crosswalk really the center between the two? And if you miss a little of the outside lines, that's not the walking part anyways. Damn you, CAPTCHA! Okay. We've all been there. Okay. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. If you're on Facebook and you're watching the show, welcome. Glad you're here. This story is dedicated to you. That's right. You're in Troll Town, and you've managed to, pitch your tent. The kidney. You managed to pitch your tent on Facebook, and I appreciate it. Throw us some stars. Do that. That would be lovely. You know, you can help out. Twitch, of course, subscriptions. If you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. Patreon.com/HouseSparks. Here we go. Let's do a show. Okay. This is Glenn exposes. Yikes. That concerns me that it's in all caps. Facebook's lying fatheads. Look, I definitely throw around the pejoratives around here, but lying fatheads, that's getting a little cruel, don't you think? About January 6th, the lying fatheads, those lying fat heads with their big fat heads. No offense, Stu and Glenn. Okay.
So,
like literally, Glenn was this morning looking at himself in the mirror and going, God damn, my head is fat.
Yesterday, I
talked out of your ass, and I made fun of you. Let me guess. You made the mistake of posting your take on January 6th, the one I particularly took down, on Facebook, and Facebook, their algorithm, noticed the same piles of bullshit that I noticed. What do you think?
I got a phone call.
Oh, all right. Dial up? Also, why do you have a little orange plane on your desk? Is that supposed to be like, were you telling us a story? Did you win something at airplane camp?
I want you to know that you are going to see very few posts from me or any of your Blaze family in your Facebook news feed.
Yeah, because fuck Facebook. It's up there. I'm taking my balls and what's left of them and going home.
Tucker Carlson had the release of the January 6th footage.
Did he? Also, are you chilly or are you just scarfing yourself while you do this? Like, is that your kink now? Are you scarfing while you talk about how Facebook just spanked you?
And I spoke to Tucker Carlson, and we posted the video to Facebook so you could see it in case you missed.
Mm-hmm. You spoke to him? Did you get a copyright strike anyways?
Well, yesterday we got a note on our page. Mm-hmm. This contains partly false information. Checked by independent fact checkers. CY.
And did you click on the CY part and go, oh shit, I didn't realize I was suckered by my dear friend Tucker Carlson into making an asshole out of myself. No, you didn't click it, did you?
So then we got a notice, partially false information in a post shared by your page contains same information as a post checked by independent fact checkers. It may have small differences, but the fact checkers at PolitiFact say information about the post shared by Glenn Beck is partially false. To stop the spread of fake news, we've added
Face news? Is that the new Facebook news algorithm?
a notice to your post. Okay, fine. Well, man, we started talking about it, and we started looking into it. And here's what the propagandists tell us is a fake post.
All right. Well, let's get at it.
They sent us a warning. Several said that my page is now going to be reduced in distribution because
it's a fake news site and it's full of shit. Huh. It's almost as if people go to Facebook not just to hear Glenn Beck's take on reality, but actual reality. And if you veer too far from reality in your take on reality, it's not helpful to advertisers.
of this false information. What is false?
Mm-hmm.
In the video, Stu, you lying liar, how you lie all the time. We discussed the curious
Wait a minute. We
case of Ray Epps, the man who was seen egging on the January 6th protesters. He did it the night before.
Mm-hmm.
He did it the day of.
Oh, yeah? Because the day of, when he's whispering to that guy, he's telling the dude to lay off. He's actually having second thoughts, it appears. He definitely did it the night before. The problem is, you might have posted footage or looked at the footage of him the night before and presented it as it was the day of. We watched you do it because you're a big dum-dum.
He was seen on videotape doing it. He was seen whispering in the ear of somebody just before that somebody went and pushed back the police.
Right. And that guy and Ray Epps both said what Ray Epps said to him in court under oath. They said, the guy, Samsel, the guy he was whispering at, said, a guy I didn't know walked up and said, hey, man, go easy. The cops are just doing their job. But he didn't know Ray Epps, so he's like, fuck you, dude, and he attacked the cops. I'm guessing, by the way, Glenn, good luck with this video, because it's going to get flagged too. You fucking dum-dum.
He then wrote a note to his nephew saying, I orchestrated it. He was on the top 5 most wanted list, and then suddenly everything's okay. And the New York Times.
Well, he turned himself in. He was like, nope, I didn't actually breach the Capitol grounds. I had second thoughts and I split, basically.
Writes this glowing piece about how Ray Epps is he's a good guy and everybody needs to leave him alone.
Is that what they wrote? You're getting dangerously close to that partially false area there, Glenn. You just can't stop reoffending, can you? Is there like a kleptomania version of being full of shit?
What? Okay, so we brought
Yes, what? Yes. That's what the people at the New York Times, I suppose, would be saying.
We brought this up. But the lying hacks at PolitiFact.
See, that's the night before.
Admit.
By the way, it's also brightened to make it look closer to daylight, which is another trick. Somebody's got a light up in the background, if you'll notice, but they brightened it in the edit bay. That's why the contrast is so high and why his jacket looks so yellow is because Tucker Carlson in this edit boosted the light in it to brighten the footage because it happened at night.
That, yes, Epps did send the text. However, it's mostly false. Why? Mm-hmm. Because Ray Epps testified to the January 6th committee that he didn't really mean it. Oh.
Yeah, I don't think that's the only reason, dummy.
I didn't. Oh, thank goodness you've let me know that. You know what's weird is I remember if anybody would post.
Oh, by the way, that's the moment. That's Samsel right there. That's the guy he told to not attack the cops right before Samsel went fuck off and attacked the cops.
That Glenn Beck isn't a racist. They would probably fact check that because, I was a racist for saying on television that I thought Obama was a racist. However, even though my career and everything else was smeared by these
those fuckers,
these lying fatheads.
Oh, watch it. Easy. There's children present. And I mean Stu. Intellectually and psychosexually.
And they still smear me today on this.
No, they don't. Honest to God, Glenn, you wish. Most of the time, they don't give a shit. I only do because You're one of the silly ones. You're a very silly man. You're a silly goose. You're a goose and you're silly, and therefore you're a silly goose.
This, even though I said the very next sentence, no, that's not right. I don't mean that. I just mean he seems to have some, hey, I said no, he's not a racist.
Okay. Yes, we understand you said something racist and blindly ignorant. And then you caught yourself because you've been in broadcasting for a while. And then you tried to walk it back. And because you're not very good at this whole broadcasting thing, even though you've been doing it for a long time, you backed up into a rake and got whacked in the head. And then you found 9 other ways to say the same fucking thing and are so stupid you don't even realize what an asshole you sound like.
That's not right. But did I get a break for that? But Ray Epps, a guy who's on the FBI most wanted list, who's seen doing all the things.
All of them? Except, I guess, entering the Capitol. Like he's, again, let's be abundantly clear. Glenn Beck apparently wants Ray Epps to go to jail for being full of shit because I guess Glenn needs a cellmate.
That are illegal, inciting violence. That's illegal.
Yeah, he didn't incite violence, technically speaking, any more than Trump did. He said go into the Capitol, but he actually told the other guy not to attack the cops. It might have been that he was under the impression that Trump was going to walk them all in, and it didn't turn out to be the case.
Inciting violence. They just take his word for it.
Do they? You know what the difference is, Glenn? Do you have an idea? Do you have any idea? He said it under oath. So that if they found other communications, like if they got his phone or some shit like that, and they looked at his other stuff, and he ever, like since then, since he was arrested or since he was tried, he wrote, I'm going to tell him I didn't mean it, but I really do. Because he's under oath, that could add to his sentence or he could go to jail. You, on the other hand, were just blabbing. None of this is under oath. You're just making shit up. That's why there's a difference. Because Ray Epps said what he said under penalty of perjury. You just said it because you were like, fuck, I painted myself into a racist corner. Shit, how do I get out? Stu, throw me a bone. Nah, keep the bone. Throw me the meat. Nah, keep the meat. Throw me some carbs.
Huh. And that doesn't raise anybody's eyebrows? Nobody's like, oh, no. No. We know so much about Ray Epps. He's a good guy. Wait, wasn't he like one of the big, I don't know, Grand Dragons or whatever it is for Oath Keepers?
I'm sorry. Do the Oath Keepers have Grand Dragons, Glenn? That's news. Hey, Oath Keepers, come get your boy. The Grand Dragon of the Oath Keepers, which I guess Glenn is intimating would be a bad thing to be. So Oath Keepers, Glenn would like to take a pause in his show where he's having a panic attack and say, fuck you, you un-American terrorist, racist goons. I guess you can write him a letter at the Blaze.
Haven't you smeared Oath Keepers and said they are the worst? They're worse than Donald Trump.
Well, they're more ambulatory, I suppose.
Okay, but he was running it. And yet you...
Okay. Again. Get to the point. So you don't like Ray Epps. You think he's a bad person. You think he's a snitch. You think whatever. The fact is, he testified under oath, and you're comparing it to something you said on the air and caught yourself and tried to walk back. Please move to an actual point.
I believe that he didn't mean it. Oh, okay. What? That's why I said yesterday, when they said, all you have to do is issue a correction and take it back. And we'll get rid of all of the penalties, all of them. And you'll be allowed to be read by your people, and it will be great.
I have no doubt that was the voice he imagined in his head. can I just say that, like, one of the reasons you do a voice when you're telling a story is, I think, parallel. One is you do an exact rendition, or as close as you can come to it, to the person, to try and convey what they actually said and how they actually said it. And then there's another way where you try to characterize it so that you can exaggerate your own feeling and the like. Since Glenn is not talented enough to actually articulate genuine character from any other person, and maybe it's lack of character on his own part that confuses him, and it's hard to, you can't fill a gap that is there on purpose, I suppose. Anyways, I suppose that, like, he does these odd little plays in his head about condescension, because that's all you really need to know as his listeners, that this person was a condescending bastard and they treated you like a child. And Facebook is now become a parent and you can't even do anything. It is, I mean, their website, and you get to use it for free and you can make money off of it. So, I mean, you want to dance, you pay the piper. Also, Janelle, thank you. Absolutely love your show. Help make us laugh instead of pulling our hair out. Well, I try. That's good. And thank you, Therese. Thank you. And Kat, thanks for the bits. And Zig, thank you for the bits as well.
I said, go screw yourself.
Take that, Meta. Oh, damn. Did you now? Did you? In your head, that's what you said? And then what did you type with your thumbs? I said, go screw yourself. I called Facebook personally. Meta. I had to look them up in the phone book.
I am not changing my opinion.
Yeah, nobody fact checks opinions, fucknut. So stupid.
I am not changing the facts.
Yeah, you are. That's why you got in trouble in the first place.
Those are the facts.
No, they are not.
You let the American people decide if they should take Ray Epps at his word or not.
No. He sat for a jury and he said under oath those things. So, legally speaking, unless he is found in contempt, Facebook could be in deep shit if they allow you on a news aggregate site that they give boosts to assert that he is engaged in criminal behavior or lied under oath without any evidence, and that'll blow back on them. So, fuck off. Because it isn't about whether you believe him or not. It's the fact that he said it under oath, and you don't have that same standard on you, and you want to get Facebook in trouble. That's effectively it.
Not. What, the January 6th committee, which yesterday admitted that they hadn't watched the tapes?
All 40,000 hours? Has Tucker? Have you? Glenn. Oh, fuck. I just realized something. Guys. Glenn thinks that after watching Tucker, the less than 3 minutes of new footage, intercut with old footage, by the way, he thinks, quote, he watched the tapes. Okay. He does. That's it. That's the problem here. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a more complex issue, but it really just boils down to that Glenn Beck thinks because he watched Tucker's segment that he has, quote unquote, watched the tapes. Oh, God. It's so sad.
They're going to be the arbiter of truth. Now, government.
Now, they have staff watch it and aggregate parts of it and put it together. They also have testimony from the police officers that are there and the language that was used on the floor. So they don't need to watch every second of people walking around after an attack happened because, by the way, by entering the Capitol illegally, by stepping over violently attacked cops, you are part of the violence.
Is the arbiter of truth. Do you know why we have a First Amendment?
God, I gotta say, why do we have a First Amendment? Let me think about it for a second. Why do we? I know, because the founding fathers wanted to say fuck you to the First Amendment, or to the first two commandments. No, that's not it. I think it is, because the second is so they could say fuck you to the fifth, right? Because the first two, I'm a jealous God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, and thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. Well, freedom of speech and freedom of religion is an effective middle finger to the first two commandments. And then, of course, thou shalt not kill. Jesus, well, in the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, you gotta, you can kill somebody in self-defense. We even have gray areas. We know you killed somebody, but you didn't want to do it the whole time. You just kind of at the last second killed them. So that's less than if you were planning for weeks to kill them, or if you accidentally killed them, or you didn't care whether you killed them or not. And we have different, like, that's a mortal sin in the Bible, but in court, it's like, all right, well, you killed someone, but, they were chasing you with a strap on and a butcher knife. So, all right, probation.
It's not so I can say things, out on the street corner.
Yeah, it actually is. It's specifically that.
It's so I can question what's going on in Washington.
Yeah, that's not what you were doing. Questioning. I was just asking questions. Look who's falling for the fucking just asking questions dope right now. You're not asking questions, asshole. You're stating facts not presented in evidence, and you're lying about another human being who testified under oath about what he did and what he said, and your contradiction to it is based on edited footage, and you're going to get Facebook in fucking trouble, and if 230 goes away because Trump gets in there, or the Republicans try to, fix it so they get rid of it, then Facebook's going to be on the hook. There's no statute of limitations for that level of libel or slander. So they're covering their bases, dickhead.
That is not just my right, it is my duty.
Ew. I don't want to hear about Glenn Beck's duty. Do you?
To question the government.
Yes, that's true. I don't know about your duty. That's a little weird, because what are you going to follow him around going, what are you doing? Where are you going? Wow, that's a nice truck. Do you drive those trucks? Oh, that's a snow plow, eh? That's a snow plow. Do you plow only snow, or if there was dirt, could you do that too? Are you with FEMA? What does FEMA stand for? Yeah, that's your duty. Just go find a federal worker and just wander around behind them, Glenn, asking them questions nonstop. The fuck out of here. You're not asking questions. You took falsified evidence from another show, served it up on a fucking silver platter to your own viewers, tried to borrow it, just like Cy Hirsch borrowed Ridenour's testimony about the My Lai massacre, right? Edited it for your own viewers, or threw on your own bullshit on top of it, asserted things that were not present in there that later on could lead to a libel lawsuit from somebody like Ray Epps. And then you're mad because they called it partly true. They let you get away with the stuff that you were just being dumb about. By the way, okay, I know this is pardon me while I nitpick, but if I may, the questions are never true or false. Does that occur to anybody? Does that occur to Glenn? That if someone's saying what you're saying is false or true, they're talking about the statements you make and not the questions you ask. I mean, this is basic math, goddammit. Right? This is even dumber than I'm just asking questions while you're making statements. And he's so mad. He's so mad. He's big dumb mad. Look at him.
Something's not right.
Uh-huh. Is it, Glenn? Is it? Something's not right. could it be that you don't understand punctuation? No? Could it be that you don't? Okay. Exclamation point. Stick. Boing, boing, boing. Question mark. Boing, boing, boing. They're different, and they change the meaning of the sentence preceding. One to articulate a point, and one to, I guess you could do it sarcastically, but the essence is to achieve some sort of answer, or at least recognize a gap in knowledge. This is really, I mean, goddamn, I guess this is a failure of public school education, or was he homeschooled, or is he homeschooling himself? Is this Stu's fault?
These people are no more than propagandists.
Says the guy who says statements are questions and questions are statements, and uses somebody else's edited footage of other people and other situations to prove a point that it doesn't prove. Please go ahead.
Liars, malignant, despicable liars.
Oh, he wrote that down. He skipped over the malignant, despicable part. The malignant part, is it because it's just permeate everywhere? And they're despicable because I do think I don't approve of the fact that they said that what you said was partially true, because having reviewed most of it, I would like to say that even the baseline sentiment seems to be bullshit, even when you were so wrong you were right.
So when I was given the option of the correction, I said no.
No, excuse me. Stop lying to us. You said screw you. And then you called them, what is it? Fatheads? Lying fatheads. And then, screw you, trade me right fucking now. And hang up.
No. But then
they put you in, then you sit down and you feel shame.
Blaze. The Blaze was notified that, well, that'll affect more than just you, Glenn. Facebook.
That's because you don't have this isn't your personal fucking page. The Blaze network, by the way, like a lot of bigger networks and like a lot of investment level social media, impact companies, which are live streaming and internet news services, buy their way to the front of the line in places like Facebook anyways. They buy ads in bulk. They hire other firms to help them with SEO and all that kind of shit. So they elbow their way in front of small businesses and other news outlets, little guys like myself, for example, and they think they earned it in the space. It's one thing to say, hey man, I earned this money, I can do what the fuck I want. It buys me the front of the line, fine. But they actually think they deserve more eyeballs and more respect because they bought their way to the front of the line on a social media website.
Book says they have to hit all. I mean, they're gonna have to hit Steve Deace too. Why? What did Steve have to do with it?
Because you posted it on the main network page, and they're all built that way. And the network page is how they algorithmically boost all of your fucking pages. You dumb.
Well, you all work together at the Blaze, so everybody is going to have to pay that price.
Please tell me whoever was calling him from Facebook was in a darkly lit, smoky room on a speakerphone from, I'm going to guess, 1987, smoking a cigarette through a long stem.
And so
thank you, Rogue DM.
I said to the Blaze, well, I know where I stand, but I don't want everybody else to pay the price.
Yes. So you went door to door, and they all stood shoulder. I am Spartacus, right? Okay.
So you do whatever you want. And they laughed. Oh, we're telling them to go to hell. I just wanted you to know. Okay. All right.
Now, what part of this, in the partly true part, do you recognize you were full of shit about? Oh, none. I see.
We are
stupid, silly.
The media, they are drowning
We are the media, they are drowning. Did he bail out on the we are sentence and the media, they are drowning is another, the media, comma, they are drowning. All right.
The next thing that you're going to see them do, mark my words.
Yes. Do we do anything else here? I mean, all of your prognostications have come true. Oh, none of them. Right. Oh, sorry.
They are going to try to get government money to keep their head above water.
Facebook? Is that... Wait a minute. So, because they caught you bullshitting, they let half your bullshit slide. Now Facebook's going to be in fucking... Sorry, Meta is going to be in fucking hock.
They're not going to be able to make it anymore.
They want to do it. They love to do it. Did it, and they want to do it again. It's good to be the king.
There are more people listening to me on my radio show than there are watching cable news right now.
Okay. I know you think that's true. And it's adorable. But were that the case, then you would have a more, you would have primacy and impact on national stories, but you don't. You know who does? CNN, MSNBC, and Fox.
That's in.
Again, they don't listen to you for news also. Podcasts do better than the news. You know why? Because the news is based, for when it's done right, on reality. And reality isn't always that interesting and scary, or some of the issues are too far away or don't pertain to you or whatever, you can leave them. But regular viewers on a show like this are not the general public. They're a single number. But when something's going down, there's a hurricane or an earthquake, a war breaks out, those kind of things, everybody doesn't go, well, we've been listening to Glenn Beck, we should go check with Glenn. They don't at all. It's the same fuckers. That's not how these statistical demographics work. It's not even true of fucking Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has a lot more listeners than Tucker Carlson has viewers or any of the big nightly shows. However, no one checks in with Joe Rogan when a hurricane is coming. No one checks in with Joe Rogan when a bill is going to be passed. No one. Because they serve different purposes. The fucking Kardashians have a bigger audience than Fox and Friends. Does that mean that Fox fans trust the Kardashians for the fucking weather?
Insanity. That is a national cable network that is in 95% of the homes.
Facebook?
Nobody's watching it. Thus, with nobody watching, they can't sell advertising. And without advertising, they can't pay the bills. But we're so darn important. I'm telling you, you watch.
Asshole, you sell Patriot prepper food. What big ad campaign is on any of Glenn's shit that he has anything to do with other than whatever standard AM radio shit that goes on? That where they buy entire, they buy it by the time of day.
Watch. They will start getting money from the government.
Again, are we still talking about Facebook?
And then you'll be able to trust them for sure. Because everybody questions the person who's giving them money to stay alive.
Oh, so you're telling me at some point you're going to have the guts, Glenn Beck, the chutzpah, the noive, to call out preppers throughout this entire country and say, look, folks, I got to tell you, it's been years, And it's starting to sound like Jesus' return with some of you assholes. Maybe you should get a fucking job. Maybe you should use all the effort that you're doing to dig a giant cellar in your backyard to hide all your baked beans and your shortwave radio and make some fucking friends, you loser. I mean, I'm glad to sell your shit, and I'm glad you like to buy prepper space food. Here, try our freeze-dried ice cream. It goes great with Oblivion. He's going to do that? Glenn, you going to do that if you ever... I mean, I know it's occurred to you, Glenn. I know.
We are in the battle of good and evil.
You're in the battle of good and evil. Is it versus evil, or are they just good and evil fighting together against the Borg?
Truth and
apathy.
Lies.
Yeah. Actually, I think you're wrestling with cognitive ability and your lack of reason. I think that's worse. I don't think you're into the game of like genuine moral decisions at this point. I think we're watching someone struggle with reading comprehension.
There is no neutral anymore. Either you fight for the truth or you enable lies.
Okay, so good. All right. Well, sure. As long as we're picking teams, shirts and skins being what it is. Technically speaking, since I pointed out how full of shit you were, and you are unrepentant in still being full of shit about those very things, and I proved them with facts that I don't even have to like or care about at all. They just happen to exist. Things like there's no time code. The things on Tucker were shot out of sequence. That he specifically avoided showing when Chanley walked in to the actual place because he was with a group of people who busted windows and busted down doors so that he could avoid telling that later. When I pointed those kind of things out, you defiantly say, screw you to Facebook for fact-checking you, and I'm here to say that if we're in a war of truth and lies, good and evil, you have chose to be a lying, evil little cowboy, little blue cowboy or something. He's confused.
We're about to go into some of our biggest battles we've ever had, and I've had big battles.
Well, yes, absolutely. Not the least of which is standing up after shitting without your knees giving out. The struggle between your neck and whatever scarf situation you're trying to fix. But Jesus Christ, man. You and Sonic, like he's in a struggle with that giant soda right there, right now. He put that little airplane in the way like a air defense. Bomb my hand if I reach for the Sonic. And by the way, no, he hasn't. No, you fucking haven't. Glenn Beck is the warrior, and heart to heart will win.
I would like to ask you.
I'm sorry. I'm confused. Is this going to be a statement or a question? Because I know you don't know the difference, so I'm just preparing myself.
To become a Blaze TV subscriber.
Ah, I see. So numbers are down, are they? Having a hard time getting advertisers? Patriot suppositories. Get all your nutrients in one bloop. That's not keeping the lights on. Turns out you're actually decrying, quote, big tech while living off of it like a fucking barnacle. And without Facebook and YouTube, for example, you wouldn't even be able to make the Blaze into fucking anything. So, and people don't want to buy into it because they watch the clips for free. And most of the time it's just for a good laugh. And nobody actually relies on you for information. And the radio show is starting to flag. And you're worried about those ratings as well. So you cook up a story about massive battles of good and evil, right and wrong, truth and lies, because somebody pointed out that you were partially full of shit. And went easy on you because, like I said, you're completely full of shit.
Today, you are truly the lifeblood of everything we do.
No, I'm not. I'm sort of, you know what, I view myself, Glenn, as far as you're concerned, as like one of the white blood cells in there, fighting off the disease of idiocy as best I can. But I have to say, it seems terminal. I'm doing the best I can.
Without you, we are at the complete
Without you, there's no... All right.
mercy of big tech.
Not big tech. I'm at the mercy spot of big tech. All the techs are coming at me. It's like mechs, but with a T. And they're all attacking us. Spock, we're at their mercy. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm trying my best, but my phasers are permanently stuck on stun. I don't understand.
We are at the complete mercy that someone will throw us a bone and give us a break.
Now, I think you're at the mercy of people who are meaning you ill and yet grant you mercy. Somebody will throw you a bone and give you a break as somebody never mind.
I don't want a handout.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Glenn, where's that American spirit of yours? Go invent something. Elon Musk your way out of this, motherfucker. You can do it. Start a small industry and then let the blaze run on the profits just because you like the sound of your own voice. It's a great idea. Come on.
I want equal justice.
Oh, you mean like equity? So you're interested in equity now? Equal justice, equality? You're looking for equality, equity? Is that what we're... So you want... Let me get this straight. You want equality of outcome. No matter how full of shit you are, you want to be treated as if you are telling the truth. So you kind of... How do I put this in a way, Glenn? I'm trying to think of it. So you want affirmative action for your ideas. Well, ideas, that's a big word. Opinions. I don't know that you have any ideas. We've seen some of them sort of show up, or what you think passes for an idea, when it's just something occurring to you that you've heard from somewhere else that was dumb when you heard it and then you misstate it. That's fun. So Glenn is asking for affirmative action for his opinions.
I want my First Amendment rights, not just as I'm going to use this word because the head of the San Francisco Inquirer, we had an argument about it, and he insisted I was a journalist. I said, no, I'm a commentator. You're a journalist. Okay, then I want my First Amendment rights as a journalist to be able to question and be heard.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, God, the truth hurts. All right, asshole. He's so mad. It's so good. He's so mad because you do realize you could, because you're the Blaze and you have all this edited stuff and everything, you could, and this is I'm not suggesting anything. I don't want to make you do any more work than you don't want to do. But here's an idea. So they said your post was false. You could, and you know Tucker Carlson, you have his phone number. You talk to him personally, right? And you can go, hey, man, that video you gave me, I mean, it was shitty. It was stepped on. People are saying this stuff's cut with, mannitol. This isn't even the real stuff, man. They're saying this is like, this shit isn't shit. This shit is shit. I mean, it's bad shit, right? No, this shit is bad. Like, the shit is bad? No, like, it's bad shit. The shit is shit. Anybody caught on the street with this would get killed. Anybody know that movie? I'll leave it in the chat. You could, with all the resources and all the staff at the Blaze and all the hosts, you could take Tucker's footage, ask him for full unexpurgated footage, extra shit. Give us a little bit. Hey, you mind if we look through the Ray Epps footage, all of it? Can you give us all of your Ray Epps footage? We would like to show the whole context. We're going to make a video to push back on PolitiFact and Facebook. And we're going to get our page reinstated, motherfucker. I'm not going to have to apologize. You're going to have to apologize. Could he do that? Absolutely. If he did that, would it result in the outcome that he believes it would? Absolutely not. Because what he would discover is is that he was bamboozled by his dipshit friend, who's not really his friend, and that he bought the fool's gold and tried to sell it to somebody, and they said, we're not letting you sell in this area again because you sell fake gold. Whoops. Play. There you go.
I don't really give a flying crap what they do. I don't.
You're a little flushed, and I'm going to say that you're lying. I'm going to go with, I don't have a polygraph, but, I can tell by your bloat right now that you're not a happy man.
I have faith in you.
Well, thanks, Glenn. So you have been watching. You're not taking any of my advice or paying attention to any of the areas where you're making an asshole out of yourself. But, maybe that's, baby steps, kiddo, baby steps.
I bet 10, 12 years ago on you. I knew that I would not be able to make it for long and keep my soul in that cesspool.
So I made my own turds and I put them in multiple cesspools where I can make lots of money from different cesspools. Yes, Facebook, you heard that right. Facebook is a cesspool that Glenn Beck has been on this entire time. Then helps his network, is one of the outlets by which people watch it. And he is angry because he knows he can't live without it.
That's called cable news.
Again, PolitiFact isn't cable, and neither is Facebook. Isn't it Newsmax that got kicked off of DirecTV? What the fuck?
I knew I would not be able to keep my soul.
If you had a show at Fox?
So what do we do? Well, they all said, go out on your own, do a podcast. I didn't think a podcast was enough. I think we needed to build something that would have some legs, that would be able to stand and eventually replace them.
Yeah. And then we give Sydney Watson a fucking show, and we treat her like shit and let somebody sexually harass her on the regular and be totally gross. And now she's suing us, and I need you to subscribe so we can pay her off. This is partly what's going on here. By the way, I would like to remind you that this has nothing to do with Facebook. He's using this as a driving force to make his listeners think that the reason he needs extra money from them or needs them to subscribe specifically as opposed to just buying advertising shit, which they don't do. You can only prep so much. There ain't no room in my fucking bunker anymore. It's all filled up with Patriot prepper sausages. So he's going to have to pay her off in this wrongful firing suit and this sexual harassment suit or whatever, however she's laying it out. And he needs his viewers to pay for it. This is no different from the redacted fucker doing a show and it turns out to be an ad for Buy Gold.
So I started The Blaze. Oh, I was crazy. Nobody's going to do that. Our reach now is far bigger than it was when I was at Fox.
That's because nobody watched you. That's why you were let go. Dude, my reach is the same as your reach. The impact is what matters. Almost any show can be heard almost anywhere on Earth. What a reach.
Personally, my show personally is at its zenith.
Yeah, I think it's all downhill from here.
But
it's a very small zenith. It's the smallest zenith. It's like an old zenith television set, you know what I mean, compared to modern flat screens.
Aren't all in one place like they used to be. This is why the press just ignores Joe Rogan.
No, they don't. They, when he says something particularly incendiary, they'll go after it because it'll be news, but the rest of the time he's a podcaster. Why is he supposed to be? I think the idea is, like Lex Friedman or any of these guys who make their bones as interviewers, because that's what he is. I mean, Joe Rogan is like the roid version of Barbara Walters for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's he's the guy they go to for the post Super Bowl interview every day with randos. It's his guests that should be making the news. And at this point, it's all kind of a hum of the same shit.
Oh, he's just on one of those internet things. But
He's just that's how they talk about Rogan. He's just on one of those internet things.
they know the power of Joe Rogan. They know
Yes, they do. They're very worried if he'll get him in a scissor lock.
the power of the Blaze.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Joe's been blazing it up quite a bit lately.
And now they can't take it, so now they have to rig the system again.
Or you posted something that was full of shit and they called you out on it, you whiny little bitch.
They don't like fair play.
No, like I said, if this was unfair, get the footage, point out how what you said was 100% factually accurate and not libelous towards Ray Epps at all, and that you have the receipts, and I guarantee it, you're not going to be in fucking trouble anymore. As a matter of fact, you could threaten to, I recommend it. Sue Facebook, Glenn. You're a news organization. The fact that they bumped you off there is a hit to your reputation. I think it technically qualifies as libel, Glenn. I think you should go for it. And I don't think you should worry about any of the discovery process at all. Go for it. I mean, come on. Put your cheese on the chopping block, man. Go for it.
They don't like competition.
Yeah, that's why they bought Instagram.
Because when you're lying, people eventually figure it out.
Yeah, eventually. It took me about, I guess, how many? 0.8 seconds from when the words left your mouth while we were watching the video. I mean, I guess in the great scheme of things, everything is instantaneous and everything is forever. And so time being the illusion that it is, lunchtime doubly so. Thank you, Douglas Adams. I would go with the idea that, eventually I figured out you were lying. The event that I went to with my allies and eventually found, just call it that, who gives a shit, only took about 0.8 seconds because it was self-evident that you were, like Ben Shapiro and other shitheads we watched this actual footage, you were letting the narration tell you what you were seeing instead of looking at what you were actually seeing. Because the story was released footage. So the footage should tell the story. You shouldn't have to edit it. There should be a time code on it so you know that it's in order. It should be uninterrupted. They should go here. We can only show a little bit of it here, but we have the full video time coded and tied together on our website at Fox Nation. Go over there for Tucker Carlson Nightly and just watch it to your heart's content. Did they do that? No, because they were aiming their barrel at the forehead of dough-headed fucks like you, Glenn.
And we've figured them out.
No, you didn't. Glenn, you can't figure out that cravats are out of style.
America.
You're a grown man wearing a blue cravat. And you're not even at like a southern, vaguely racist, fancy dress party.
Has figured them out.
He's getting into the head wag. You know he's serious.
I bet on you.
Always bet on black. That's why. Is that why? Oh no, guess not.
12 years ago.
That's sweet. I felt pretty good at that point. I did create a boy. 9 months later, there he was.
And I've told you that we took advertising, we did everything else because we needed to build it, and we needed you to subscribe because if everything is pulled out from underneath us,
use code. Oh, fuck you, man. No. You look what this says. Use code will not be censored for $20 off. I can't. I'm done. I'm like, that's, like I said, it's a fucking ad. That's all it is. Jesus Christ. It's like, it's an infomercial. The whole fucking show is an infomercial now. Now you know why I hate saying like, subscribe, and all that kind of shit, and why it makes me uncomfortable, because it just reeks of that. Holy hell, will not be censored for $20 off. Shut the fuck up. No, if you were being censored, no amount of money would buy you out of it. You know why? Because it's federally issued dollars. You think the giant they-them monster that's in the fucking White House that's supposedly puppeteering all this censorship is going to take your greenbacks? They're just going to go, thank you. Those are federal reserve notes. They're not even on the silver or the gold system anymore. Sorry, they're not even yours. We use them to light our fires at the Bohemian Grove. Shut the fuck up. So dumb. It's fucking painful.